in section C, the focus is central angles. The most important thing here is that lines that cross the center equals 180 degrees. It makes that semicircle, okay? So for number 10, find the central angle Z. So here we have the straight line, okay, right there. So this 42 along with the Z makes 180 degrees. So let's go ahead and write 180 is equal to 42 plus 3x plus 18. Okay, so when we go ahead and combine like terms, we get 3x plus 60. And then I want to move that 60 over to the other side. So I'm going to get 120 is equal to 3x. Divide both sides by 3. We get x equals 40. All right, so that is not my answer. I am asked to find what central angle Z is, and I have to plug in x equals 40 into 3x, which we know is 40 now, plus 18. Okay, so I'm going to go plug in that 40. So 3 times 40 is 120. Add 18, we get, let's see, 138. Okay, so angle Z, which is my central angle for this one, is 138 degrees. All right, so moving on to question number 11, find the value of x. So here, again, we're using the idea that if we have a line and it crosses the center, well, that splits the circle in half, and we know a semicircle equals 180 degrees. So here we have 180 is equal to 10x plus 10, and then we're going to go ahead and add this 30 along with it because we want to know what x is. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and combine like terms. So that gives us 10x plus 40. Okay, we're going to move the 40 over to the left side. So we're going to be left with 140 is equal to 10x. I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 10. And we get our answer, x equals 14. Right. Perfect. Okay, so number 12 is where we start getting into difficult part of section C. Okay, instead of being asked what angle or what the value of x is, we are asked what the minor arc is. So just to recap, a minor arc is less than 180 degrees, and it's denoted with 2 letters. So in this case, it's this portion of that circle. Okay. Something to note is that we have a bunch of vertical angles here. So right here is a vertical angle, here is a vertical angle, and we also know that right here and right here are vertical angles. Okay. That's important to note because the only thing that they gave us was AD, the arc AD, and the arc BC. But we know that there's vertical angles there. So we're just going to go ahead and set those two equal to each other. Okay. So here we have 35x plus 60 is equal to 25x plus 80. Okay. We're going to go ahead and move the x's to the left side by subtracting 25 and then subtracting 60 both sides. So we can move the numbers to the right side. Okay, so we're going to be left with, let's see, 20x. Wait, let's see. That's not 20x. 30. That's going to be 10x is equal to 20. And then we're going to go ahead and divide both sides by 2. Or sorry, 10. And we get x equals 2. Okay, so now we're going to use that 2 to find our minor arc AB right here. Okay, by plugging in x equals 2 into 180 is equal to AB, which is what we're trying to find, plus, let's go ahead and use 25x plus 80. So 25 times 2, because we got x equals 2, plus 80, okay? So 25 times 2 is 50, add 80, that's 130. So that means that my arc is equal to 50 degrees. Right. So that is number 12. For number 13, there's going to be a lot of work, okay? So it's asking us to find the major arc, VWX. So here's V, okay? So VW, and then X is all the way over here, okay? So that is a major arc, meaning that it has to be greater than 180 degrees. We know a circle, okay, is, it adds up to 360 degrees. So let's go ahead and set that up. 360 is equal to, we have 90 degrees right here because we see that little box that indicates 90 degrees. And then we have these other three that should add up to 360. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So we have 90 plus 8x plus 26x plus 5 plus 15x plus 20. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add up all the numbers. I have a 90. Oh, that's not a number, it has an x. I have a 5 here and a 20. So when I add those all up, they add up to 115. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 115 from 360. Okay, we're going to be left with 245. And then when I add up my x's together, they give me 49x. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 49, and I get x is equal to 5. Okay, so at this point, you might be like, what is the radius? Why were we given the radius? Okay, so we were given the radius because we need to know what first x is, and then we're going to go ahead and use that radius for the arc length. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and set that up. So VWX, that major arc, is equal to 8x, and we know x is now 5, plus 26x plus 5, that gives us 175. Okay, so that is going to be not my arc length, that is going to be our central angle, okay, the degree, or our x. Okay, so the equation for arc length is going to be x times c over 360. So we have the central angle, it's 175, okay? For the c, that's going to be our circumference. So circumference is just 2 pi r, and we have r, that's 6. So we're just going to double 6, 12, and then we're just going to put that pi, okay, over 360. Okay, so it asks us to leave the answer with pi. So if I go ahead and multiply the 175 with the 12 and divide that by 360, I'm going to be left with 35 pi over 6, okay? And that is going to be my arc length around that circle for that portion VWX, okay? So in section C, it's super important that you need to know that if a line crosses the center, or the point in the middle, that creates 180 degrees, okay? And that a circle adds up to 360 degrees. Okay, so that is section C, central angles.